Hi there. This is another example setup with the iolinker board in the middle on our Arduino shield. Below the Arduino shield we have an Arduino Leonardo, could be an Arduino Uno as well, doesn't matter here. Connected to the iolinker are three same Arduino Pro Mini, also a Raspberry Pi over a level shifter, an LCD, a servo, and two LEDs. The Arduino Leonardo UART is also connected to the iolinker board, which I use to allow the Raspberry Pi to send messages to the Arduino Leonardo. In the example application, every Arduino tries to write out a message to the LCD, but the iolinker board only wires up one Arduino to the LCD at any given time, so only one Arduino gets to control it. The Raspberry Pi, every time it changes configuration, wiring configuration, it also sends out a UART message that tells the Arduino in what angle to turn the servo. So the servo always points in the direction of the UART that is currently controlling the LCD. On the Raspberry Pi, we have a web interface that allows real-time configuration of the schematic. For example, I can switch on and off the blue LED here at the press of a button in the web interface. What the web interface does is that it not only saves the current configuration, it also shows it to you here. You can use different source versions. For example, you can view a C++ application or a Bash application, and now to do the real-time on-the-fly update of the iolinker board, the web interface exports a shell script that is then executed and run to set up the wiring. Now I can load and save configurations, and I pre-configured a few for this current setup. They have meaningful titles, which are C, G, J, and Q, and the C, G, J, and Q are conveniently the UART messages that the Raspberry Pi sends out to the Arduino to change the angle of the servo. So this is configuration C for the Arduino 1, and the wiring for Arduino 2 is the configuration G. And when I press it, the servo turns to this Arduino, and this Arduino got control of the LCD that now displays Arduino 2. Let's do this again. I press the configuration J, and this time I let you watch the servo. The servo turns again, and it changed to Arduino 3. Now for the last configuration, we choose Q, and this time I'll let you watch the LCD. As I update, I press, it switches to the Arduino Leonardo, and the servo points there. Now this is really, really fun to work with, because you don't have to think about your wiring in advance. You simply plug in everything into the iolinker board, then click together your configuration here. As soon as it suits you, save it. You have a working shell script or C++ application that you can use and integrate right away, and you can redesign in seconds. So I totally love to work with this, and also you can use all of those pins as I/O extension or for reading in values. So anything else I wanted to say? Yes. Obviously, this example application isn't much more than that. For example, it's not really efficient in that it makes sense that we have 4 different Arduinos that all control the same LCD. But now imagine we changed it to have 4 LCDs, for example, and a single Arduino that controls those 4 LCDs, or 4 Arduinos who control those 4 LCDs. With the iolinker board, this would be done in seconds, because I don't actually have to change my code for controlling the LCD or think much about how to wire things up. I simply update the wiring configuration in between, and everything else just works. So I think it's a real joy to prototype with this. Thanks for watching.